Welcome, greetings, salutations. What up, dog?
What up, though?
What up, dog? This is the Four Valley Boy Podcast. I am your host and moderator, Faye Mix. And as you see on Wednesday, if we got Big Straw on Wednesday, you know it's serious. You got Big Straw on a Wednesday.
Straw, baby.
You got Big Straw on a Wednesday. That's serious right there. We got on a Wednesday.
We're doing bonus material. I'm doing bonus material, y'all. Bonus material.
So on this episode, we got some hot news with Jalen Carter and UGA. Brandon Miller. We wanted to wait a week or two to talk about this topic with the murder of an Alabama student and his involvement in NBA's end of the season dash, the last 20 or so games, and of course our parting shots. And Big Straw, what we say?
Man, let's get this thing started. Hit that button, Fade.
All right. Got it, baby.
Let go.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Boys, yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys.
You muted,
right?
You muted. We still can't hear you. Shot producer. Shot. What's happening, Shot?
What's going on, gentlemen? Everybody good?
We good, big dog. What's going on with you, man?
Yeah, everything good. Glad to be back on. You know, I'll be in and out based on
Yeah,
the schedule.
we glad to have your services, sir. We know you're a busy man.
What's going on?
Can't call it, man. Trying to figure out this Jalen Carter stuff, man.
Oh man, when Faye, I think it was you that mentioned that. I was kind of scared to touch that. I felt like, somebody we either gonna be too sensitive or not sensitive enough.
I just put it out because I was like getting the girls ready for school, and an alert came on my phone. I like, wait a minute. So when I seen it, it was just the general information, and I was just throwing it in there, letting everybody check it out. But since then, Kirby came out, made a statement. Jalen came out, made a statement. Police said what they said. So I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? 21 years old, you do stupid stuff. I know we've done dumb stuff. I mean, I'm just wondering how it's gonna work out for him. Is he gonna drop a lot? Would you take a chance on him? Stuff like that.
Well, okay, so he said he gonna be exonerated at the end of this. I just don't, the thing that came out. I think the recruiting assistant twice the legal limit.
Yeah,
twice the legal limit.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy. Now the racing, if it's really drag racing and street racing, yeah, he probably got something to do with that. But you can't get behind well, we've all done crazy things, and I can't judge the dead, but that's crazy enough. That's really crazy. Twice the legal limit. Say okay, Jalen was zero. Anatoly got it on there. Jalen was 0. She at 1.7.
Shout out to my producer Anatoly. What's going on?
Yeah. Hey, can y'all hear me?
That was my question on what is he supposed to be getting charged with? Reckless driving? And what is the penalty for that?
That's a misdemeanors.
Yeah, they were saying that they got him on a warrant for 2 misdemeanors. One of them, I believe, is reckless driving. I'm not really sure what the other one is.
I'm trying to pull up the charges now. Hold on.
Brother Tony, what they call him? What's up, PT?
What's up, fellas? What's up?
Tony scared the hell out of me earlier today, man. I don't know how my phone ended up calling us. Hey, you know what? Shout out to y'all boys, man. I hit the button on the chat, and y'all boys jumped on there within a minute, man. I was like, okay. I got the phone is on the bed. All I hear Tony opening up a bag of something, man, sour apple something. He a soldier. I say, man, what the hell going on? I look at Tony on the chat. At first, I'm like, hey, Tony, like, what you want? Man, you know, he kind of got the same like surprise look on his face. So I'm like, okay, I think
I'm like,
you.
I definitely didn't expect to see a ratio. So I'm like, what the hell?
My phone was on the table, and I seen missed call Horatio Major. I'm like, wait, no, that's not right.
Yeah, I saw it too. I picked it up. I said, hey,
I had it say join in, and it said everybody was joined in. So I hit the button, and me and Big Strong, they're like, hey man, who made the call, man?
Man, I literally looked at the phone like, Tony, what's going on, bro? You all right?
Like back in the day, the Super Friends.
Right.
I said, okay. Hey, shout out to them boys. Y'all boy picked up quick, boy. Okay, I appreciate that because I was stuck. What the hell?
Something going on.
I had to think twice though, because when I seen it and it said who made the initial call, I said, no, that can't be right. Let me call back and see what's really going on.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I got on the messenger to even hit the button. Like I'm just okay. Okay.
Yeah, we got welcome to Four Bad Boys. We got my guy. We got Shot, Pretty Tony, Straw, Damon. We're going to talk about Jalen Carter, and we brought up just a little bit. We'll get to the sponsors in a minute. Jalen Carter is at the combine, but he probably will be leaving real quickly. 2 warrants out for him: reckless driving and racing in connection in the crash that killed a teammate and a recruiting staff member. Those are 2 misdemeanor charges. He was at the scene there racing in a rental car, which was an Explorer Expedition, I believe. He left the scene, came back, gave opposing stories. So he did not cause the wreck, but it was reckless enough to where 2 people lost their lives. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Of course, this is a sports show. 2 questions I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna start with Tony. Will this affect his draft order? That's the big first question.
I'm gonna say probably no. Just depends on the interview process. It won't be the news breaking that would hurt him. It'll be how he handles that, in pre-draft interviews and the pre-draft process. Hopefully, he gets schooled on how he should answer that question. And it won't hurt as bad. The fact that it's misdemeanors, him just being a dumb kid, I'm not taking anything taking away from the seriousness of the situation, because as you stated, somebody did lose their life. But they are misdemeanor charges. Reckless driving. We've all been young. I know I reckless drive before. No, he just got to have the right answers, man. In the pre-draft process, and I think he'll be all right.
I'm gonna go around Damon, then Big Straw, then Shot.
I agree with Tony, man. His interviewing process, and man, if the man's measurables is good, plus his interview process, I don't think he'll drop it all. If he interviews well, of course, his measurables, what he does at the combine, is above what he does on the field, plus what he does on the field. I really don't see it hurting his status, unless some of the GMs think they're the smartest guys in the room and they decide to pass on him. That's the only thing I can see. I don't really see him, unless the interview process is terrible. I don't see anything going really wrong. The thing that will probably hurt him is the smart guy GM or the smart guy executive who feel like they don't need to take him because of what they seen in the news or whatever. That's what I think will hurt him. I actually think you're all right.
All right, Big Straw.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I agree with you all, but I really think that like the interview process and the legal precedent going forward. If he gets in there and anything conflicts with his first story that he told at the scene of the accident, and it finds out that he's untruth, then that's going to affect some GM's decision. So it's a possibility. I don't see it if everything comes out and it's fine, and it's just two misdemeanors. He gets reckless driving, and no, I don't see him slipping. If he does slip, somebody gonna get him a good player. Somebody gonna get him a good player at the end that wasn't even supposed to get him a good player. Somebody in the middle of the draft or in the second round that wasn't even supposed to get a top 5 type pick is gonna get a gem, and that's gonna make some people look stupid. You can stick by your morals all you want to, GMs, but you're talking about a game changer. So I don't see him slipping. But if he does slip, somebody getting a jewel.
All right, big shot.
What is he slated to go? Where is he slated to be picked?
Anywhere between 1 and 4.
Yep.
1 and 4. So yes, he's going to drop. But it won't be because of what happened. It'll be because Chicago gonna trade the pick. And
okay.
Somebody gonna come up and get a quarterback. At the end of the day, he has, and what Tony said is like spot on. Had this happened before the right before the combine, or right after the combine, because they were going to ask him about this at the combine. And so based on what I'm hearing, I'm going to assume he was going to stick with whatever story he had, which means he probably would have lied. Allegedly, probably. I don't know. So it would have looked really, really bad had he done those interviews and lied to those people, and then the story came out. Now they know what the story is. So like Tony said, he's going to get prepped for that story, but at the end of the day, I don't see it affecting his draft status. It was unfortunate what happened, but at the end of the day, the young man made a bad decision, and he wasn't drunk. He was drag racing. There's a verse in the Bible that said, let he who is without sin be the first to cast a stone.
Say that.
If you can't cast a stone, then don't go around talking about what somebody's time should be when if you have done something similar. Stop that.
Yeah, everything y'all said is correct, and two things can be true. He won't be affected by the draft order, but he will drop because of the draft order. I can see, like I said, the Bears might flip with Tennessee, with Houston, which would be dumb with their part to go 1 unless Indianapolis jumps up there. And then if Indianapolis jump up there, I can see them taking CJ Stroud before they take Grant Shotson.
My godson.
Y'all know who Godson, excuse me, Godson. His godson, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
They got my boy listed at 5'10" and a half. It's gonna be hard. We may have to hold off on the top 5 party. I got to talk to Nick now.
How tall was Drew Brees?
Drew Brees was legit 6 feet back when 6 feet wasn't the norm.
Okay. And
Doug Flutie, 5'8", 5'9".
He got out of the CFL. He played a little bit back in the NFL. Yeah, Doug Flutie was good.
Doug Flutie, 5'8", 5'10", right?
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. Okay.
Kyler Murray went number 1. Kyler Murray went number 1 at 5'9", right?
Oh yeah. Just checking.
Kyler Murray is exceptional though. He was 5. What was he? 5'10" or 5'9" and 7/8, something like that, right?
Yeah.
No. He was my fault. He was 5'10" and 1/8.
How tall is Tua?
About 6 feet.
About 6 feet. 6'1".
Okay.
I think your godson might be good, man. I mean, one thing we always used to say though, Shot, you used to say it a lot when me, you, and Atwell used to be on the phone. Sometimes you do have to rely on the eye test and what that boy did on the gridiron and the conference he played in. So you looking at a Heisman winner, national champion. You're looking at a guy that can spread the ball when given time. I don't know, man. Somebody. I mean, I if Indianapolis do get the pick, I do think they're gonna go for CJ Stroud. I really do. But I think
CJ Stroud got your measurables, of course. But I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised somebody, Houston or somebody take Bryce because of what he did on the field.
But measurables for what? Like you can't hit the quarterback anyway. I don't need him to stand up there and take his. You can't touch him now anyway. You know, that used to work when you had Dan Marino and Drew Bledsoe and John Elway. You know, guys that can withstand punishment. Once Tom Brady tore his ACL, you can be whatever size you want, as long as you can get the ball to the receiver. Russ, I think D-Ran, me and you was we was at homecoming that year when I was screaming Russell Wilson.
You was, yep. You right.
All right. So, for those that don't, go ahead.
No, I was just go ahead. Good.
Those that don't know the draft order, we're gonna if it decides to pop up, there we go. Bears are first, Texans are second, Cardinals are third, Colts are fourth, Seattle's fifth. That's the pick from Denver. Detroit is 6, Vegas is 7, Falcons are 8, Carolina 9, Philadelphia 10th. Those are the top 10 right there.
That 10th pick, who did Philadelphia get that pick from?
They got from New Orleans.
Listen. Chicago's probably going to take Jalen Carter. Nobody needs to trade up with them. Houston's probably going to take C.J. Stroud, and then who you said was the third pick?
Go back. The third pick was Arizona. They don't need a quarterback, or do they? No, because they signed Kyler to that big ass contract.
And then who's 4?
Indianapolis. I will hold tight from Indianapolis.
Ain't nobody giving up a whole bunch of stuff to get C.J. Stroud when he's unproven, and Bryce Young because he's short. Like, it ain't nobody out there worth trading up no picks to go get them boys. Jalen Carter might not drop at all.
Yeah, I can see Jalen Carter going first, probably C.J. Stroud if I'm the Texans second, Will Anderson going third, and then probably Bryce Young fourth. That's how I see it. Something like that.
Them boys that can't miss where you got to well, I mean, I think my godson is, but again, 5'8" is 5'8". I don't give a damn what they say. You know, I love you. I know I love me some Bryce Young, but 5'8" make me blink too. Damn.
Yeah, if he could come into the combine at about 203, 207, somewhere around there, I think they'll go ahead and say, okay, because Kyler Murray is, like you said, 5'10" and 1/8, 207 pounds when he was at the combine. So,
damn, 5'8".
I mean, I don't know 5'8". I don't know. They might try doing like Lamar. Like, hey man, you think about switching position? I'm like, what position you going to switch to?
Oh no,
I think the Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud debate comes down to probably going to be what the Colts decide to do. If they decide to get with Chicago and try to get that number 1 pick so they can pick which quarterback they exactly want and not have the leftover. So it just depends on who they possibly fall in love with. I mean, other than that, man, I mean, the only team that I can really see trying to possibly make a move, Atlanta may be a shock. They got some capital and they got some room to do something. Rumor is really though they getting ready to try to make a play for Lamar Jackson. So it just depends, man. It just depends.
Hey, so let me pivot real quick because I've always said that the NFL don't care nothing about your college stats and your accolades, right? So in high school in California, they had a couple of quarterbacks, but 2 of the best quarterbacks coming out during that time was C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. And Bryce Young was 1. Then they got to college, and they was comparing C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, and Bryce Young was 1. He won the Heisman. The NFL don't care about none of that. That's why they keep messing up, because they keep caring about measurables. Man, the eye test. Shout out to my man Chuck Ford. They used to say that years ago. The eye test. Like, you got to pass the eye test. Like, Bryce Young passed the eye test. They're going to try and get that boy from Kentucky and swear he passed the eye test and make him the next Josh Allen, and we'll see where that franchise is later. Who passed the eye test when in the year of the quarterback when Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Herbert, who passed the eye test? Burrow and Hurts was a Heisman Trophy winner the year before, right?
Right.
Hurts didn't win it. He was a finalist that year. Burrow won.
Finalist. The eye test.
Yeah, I mean the eye test is they've been speaking that for years, man. You're right, Chuck Ford. I'm not like say when me, you, and Mike was on the phone, that always came up. Eye test.
Eye test. I used to cut kids from Optimus by the way they tied their shoes. Real talk, man. Real talk. I used to, no, don't do it. Don't do it. They be like, man, coach, shout out, man. Tell that boy to just go and get back in the car with his mama. He don't pass the eye test. For real. Boy, I tell, run 10 yards. Nah, you going back in the car. You going back in the car.
Man.
So we got a lot of time.
Carter Jalen Carter is a stud. You still got people who gonna put him and Will Anderson in their perspective, how they gonna look at both guys. And the more we sit and talk about it, the more I believe I don't think he will drop. Unless whoever decides to finagle that first overall pick. I just don't see it.
Yeah, he's not
athletic nose guard, man.
No.
Strong as a bull. Can get to it, man. That's tough.
I don't know, boy.
And he was playing behind Jordan Davis. That Georgia team was freaking loaded, bro.
Yep.
Y'all let Will Anderson get out of the top 5 and all the GMs stupid.
Yep.
Say that again.
Say that again.
Say that again. Man, you can say that all day. I promise you. I swear to Florida, where we at, they don't. I'm personally going to Allen Park and make some noise. I don't see that young man going past 3 or 4. He bet not.
I don't even see it. No. If he get past Arizona, something ain't right.
That go back to what Horatio used to say again. GM want to be the smartest guy in the room. Think they know everything, and they letting a generational cornerstone of your franchise go past because you think you know more than. Please.
Will Anderson?
Yeah.
Georgetown High School's finest.
I mean, one of them gonna drop.
I'm gonna get the one that.
One of either both Jalen Carter and Will Anderson ain't going top 5. Not both of them together. Somebody gonna drop out the 5.
So what you're saying, Shot, you about to say something?
No, because Tony brought up a good point. Because we could debate that. I mean, he's right. One of them. So the question would be, who y'all picking? I'm going to get the one that go get the quarterback. That's who I'm going to get.
Yeah, but is it? I mean, if you think about it, Fields wasn't the quarterback that this regime wanted. So it's possible they probably would. Well, they probably will still keep him. Arizona got their quarterback. Who else in the top 5? Indy needs a quarterback.
Indy is for
Seattle.
Seattle's
Seattle
5.
needs a quarterback. So it's possible they both could go in the top 5. It's possible. Both of them.
Seattle. I don't think Seattle takes a quarterback.
Going on.
I don't think Seattle takes a quarterback unless Bryce Young or CJ Stroud falls to number 5.
Well, in that case, Tony, then both of them are going to top 5. I think both of them are going to top 5.
Yeah, it's a strong possibility. I really believe Chicago, if they hold tight, man. If Chicago hold tight with that number 1 pick, they going defense number 1. It's either going to be Jalen Carter. It's going to be Jalen Carter.
Yeah, exactly.
And if that happens, and Will Anderson's going top 5, you know it.
He going to Arizona. That makes sense because you just lost J.J. Watt.
Just lost J.J. Watt to retire.
That's why I'm saying it's possible they can go top. They both can go top 5.
The only way I can see is if they both don't go top 5. Let's say, for instance, a team like Vegas or Carolina trade up to that 3 spot.
Trade scenarios, yeah.
Because
I'm hearing, Anatole, one thing he said is right. The talking heads love Will Levis, and that He is absolutely. That's all I've been hearing is Will Levis. Will Levis. I'm not sure about that cat, man. It's two quarterbacks that I'm enamored with, and that's Young and that's Stroud.
Well,
Stroud really fits the Colts because it's an indoor stadium. He can have fun passing. I mean, what he did in Atlanta, please, him playing indoors with that type of track and field with some weapons around him, he would be good.
Will Levis is the great white hope for quarterbacks this year.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I said it. I ain't scared of none of you.
That's Keyshawn. That's Keyshawn measurables. I like my quarterback 6'4", about 220, strong arm, big strapping guy.
Remember, Ryan Leaf was the talk of town. It was people that was putting him ahead of Peyton Manning. You think they got their jobs? They fast. They probably on somewhere at Lucy Cooper selling roses.
not Lucy Cooper, man.
Brown Derby. Brown Derby.
They selling drinks. They selling drinks, bro. It was a many of people that thought that Ryan Leaf. I could compare him to that. You know what I mean? He may not be that, but I'm just saying.
When does Kentucky had a good quarterback? Because I think Tim Couch went number 1. That wasn't a smart move, I think.
99.
Jared Lorenz.
Big sexy lefty.
The battleship.
The hefty lefty. God rest his soul.
Big sexy. Fred Johnson.
So hey,
what's going on?
Let me ask y'all this. Y'all think Will Smith gonna be a good NFL player?
Will Levis? I think he could. I could think he could be serviceable with the right team, but I don't see him being what they project him to be. Like Shot said, I don't see him being no. Who would you say, Shot? What's the quarterback?
Josh Allen. Josh Allen.
Being no Josh Allen, I see him coming in, getting an opportunity as a backup in week 8, and then trying to do too much and end up getting hurt. That's what I see. He just saying the Ole Miss game when Kentucky played Ole Miss and they had a chance to win it, and they pretty much lost the game on him trying to do too much. Letting me know a lot about that cat right there. Didn't hear nothing else about him for the rest of the season after that. And I think Kentucky was ranked in the top 15 at that time.
I think he got hurt.
Right, career backup. I think he right, man.
He got hurt. This year.
Fred right, bro. I think he just might be I think Fred nailed it. He just might be a career backup. I don't know. And I could be wrong. Like I say, I just don't see. I don't see what everybody saw. I don't see it.
What about Will Anderson?
That guy can get to the quarterback, man.
He get to the quarterback. I just think this is a down year because I think so many offenses were focusing on him this year.
Right.
So
it's not even just that with me. I mean, Alabama defensive, like as far as on the line, dude, they usually don't in the league. They usually be.
I honestly, I don't know if he. You really think they may have him standing up, man?
I think so.
They may have him standing up.
That would make sense. I
don't think he's gonna be the one to put his hand in the dirt all the time. I think he gonna be the one that's standing up.
Yeah, he'll fit 3-4 real well.
Yep, 3-4.
Bad boy, regardless.
Yeah,
I agree. Dutchtown High School's finest.
Yep. I mean, sophomore year he put up more sacks than Hutchinson did.
Yeah,
he should have been invited to the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? He had better defensive stats than Hutchinson did at Michigan, and I was kind of surprised they didn't invite him.
One more quarterback, and Shots producer said that, like AR-15, Anthony Richardson, Florida. I don't know why, but
dude, I didn't heard some mock just where he go number 1, dude.
Man, I seen CBS had that mock, man.
What? Ow! After they
had him, they had Indianapolis trading that pick, and that's the quarterback they was gonna pick. CBS had that. I seen that mock. I thought they was insane.
They must be adjusting his ratings in Madden. After they draft him.
From what I hear to do, erratic at I mean, he's been erratic and a strong arm athlete, but I don't know if he's number one. You
and his
put him
mom's
above Brown and Young. I don't. What has
and it wouldn't be no if the Colts really like him, I don't think it would be a need to trade up number one to get him.
That's
I think
what I
he'd be.
say.
I don't
trade back in the first round. Get him.
you pick him in the first round anyway, though. I don't see him being a first rounder.
Oh, he's going for a round.
Somebody gonna take a chance on him.
Well, I mean, if it's gonna be the latter half, and you just have to trade back in. But I mean, he's a good talent, but like you said, he's helter skelter. He's too erratic for me. He's too erratic.
Last one, fellas, and this mainly I'm hollering at shot at this one. Bijan Johnson, the running back from Texas, first round pick.
I knew that was gonna come up.
I'm only asking you because that's not you. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Scouts are calling him a can't miss prospect. He started the last 3 years at Texas, right?
Yep.
I get them Ricky Williams vibes.
No woman, no cry.
Hey, that boy shot stupid, man. You are, hey, he sent you up for it every time too. He started the last 3 years in Texas, right?
Yeah,
no, he ain't gonna be.
yeah, man. Like that's that wear and tear on the tires. Like, nah, man. One thing about Texas, boy, they put you in the backfield early, boy. they get all of the mileage out of you. Nah, well, you know how I feel about them backs going that early. If they don't look like Adrian Peterson, it ain't nah. I can't do it.
Okay, looking at the mock draft for USA today, Will Levis is projected to go to Vegas. Anthony Richardson projected to go to Carolina. Let's see if I find your boy.
Yeah, I didn't want to comment on Anthony Richardson because I ain't really had nothing nice to say. Like
Buffalo Bills, Bijan Robinson.
I want him to be cool, but that boy can't throw the ball in the ocean. On the pier. They don't need you to actually complete a pass in the NFL, bro. Like,
yeah.
But now, hey, I saw him in one of them little combines. He can sling it 70.
Yeah, they say his arm is strong. His arm is strong as hell. They definitely say he got a strong arm.
Yeah, man. Good luck throwing it to somebody that catch it though.
He sound like a Dante Culpepper.
Nah, because Donnie did his thing now.
Yeah.
Donnie did his thing.
That good touch.
If he could have a career with Dante Culpepper, he'll be good.
I think, if he could follow that career arc, he will be. But he gonna need somebody, like you said, he gonna need somebody out there to catch it that he ain't gonna out throw. That's one thing about Culpepper. He had Moss out there. He was throwing it, and Moss was running and catching it.
Moss, Carter, Jake Reed, Robert Smith.
Had a good back, so yeah.
All right, let's go from one sad college story to another one. Like I said, we did this. This part of the show is brought to you by BuyNightShirt.com. Bernard Ingram as paraphernalia for your panhandling and nine or your HBCU needs. Wants new merch and you want to get it from a black-owned business, Bernard Ingram, BuyNightShirt.com. Brandon Miller, you probably it's a story that I wanted to hold off on until I got a little bit more details about what's going on. Brandon Miller is a 6'9" forward with the University of Alabama, who reportedly had his teammate's gun, Darius Miles, texted him to bring it back to him at some party they went to. Got an argument with a female student, shot female student. Darius Miles and another Alabama student were arrested for capital murder. Brandon Miller has not been arrested, has not been charged, has not been placed on leave or suspended by the University of Alabama. Matter of fact, he's played the last 3 or 4 games for Alabama, averaging around, I want to say about maybe 26, 27 points in the last 3 or 4 games he's played in. And Fred, if you're still there, I want your thoughts in the chat. If you're still there, start with Tony and Damon, then we'll go to Big Straw and Shot. What the hell Alabama think of letting that man play?
Shit, trying to win. That's what they're thinking about. Trying to win. No, Alabama hadn't had a good basketball team in quite a long time. So they're looking at the opportunity, as uh, most institutions and franchises do, as far as taking advantage of and riding the back and winning. So that's what they're looking at. Definitely not good, as far as optics and a PR look. But that's what Alabama's thinking about. They're thinking about winning. That's an easy answer.
Shout out to my man Fred Johnson, aka Mark. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Man, I agree with Tony. Plus, the thing is, what they're saying is what he did. He really wasn't involved. Now, that's how they're portraying it. He wasn't involved in the actual situation. PR wise, heck of a hit. Alabama can possibly nail down the number 1 seed. So it's definitely about winning, something they haven't done on the basketball court like in this magnitude in a while. So the coaches, they're going to play him because mainly winning, and they don't believe he had anything to do with it, which is, I don't know how you can say that, but
hey, help me out. What was his role allegedly?
He brought the gun.
Right. He was the one.
No. Rewind it. So why did he bring the gun? Somebody called him and told him to bring the gun because
Darius Miles texted him.
Allegedly, Darius Miles called him and told him to bring the gun.
Did he say why he wanted him to bring the gun?
I don't know.
Okay, so and again, just based on what we know, Darius Miles called him and said, "Bring the gun," and it was Darius Miles' gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So David threw the stone that hit Goliath, right? We don't talk about the dude that bought David the stone. Is there a verse in the Bible for him?
Last I checked, I don't think so.
That's why that man on the court. Somebody, y'all tell me to bring y'all gun, I'm gonna bring you your gun. Now, what you do with it, that's on you.
And that's how they taking it. That's actually how they taking it, though. That's exactly how they taking it. Since the gun left his hands, it's off him.
If you ask me to bring you a condom and I don't bring one, do we both raise the baby? Just make it make sense.
Yep. Them two different things, Shop. I get what you're saying. I promise you, I get what you're saying. And that was fun. That was funny as shit what you just said. But them two different things, bro.
I said it looking dead at Tony. I was doing just like this. I said Tony started eating some more. I said, okay, I see you, Tony. Go ahead and let it out, Tony.
Who did Dark look? Who did Dark look?
Oh my goodness.
Nah. All jokes aside, I agree, man. But at the end of the day, when he lawyers up, all he needs to do is be able to show that he didn't know, what the intent of it was, and that should be enough. Is it a bad look? Obviously, it's a bad look. But I agree with you.
And I think what's making it bad is there's some kind of pre-game celebration or something like that when they getting announced that they do.
The TSA.
Yeah, man. And I think but they patting him down like they're looking for a gun or something like that. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That was his pregame routine prior to that, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So again, all jokes aside, from what I've seen, I have watched a little bit more basketball this year. He's trying to just be normal, and act as if, hey, that really has nothing to do with me. I just did this, and so I'm gonna continue just living my life because I want to give off the impression that I had nothing to do with that. I think
right. You start changing. That's when you look guilty.
Right.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. but still
what's
look
your
bad.
thoughts on this?
Yeah, but somebody should tell him, hey man, I think you might want to change your routine. Like what a PR people in Alabama, where they at?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Big Straw, what's your thoughts on it?
I agree with everybody, man. This is it's really to win, you know. But I mean, to take shots point, I mean, well, there's no point in doing anything. I mean, right now he did what he was asked to do. That's just like if somebody asked to borrow a cup of sugar. I mean, and they're giving it to somebody that's got diabetes. I'm just saying, you know, you giving the sugar. You just giving them sugar. So I mean, it's crazy. But I mean, yeah, Alabama I don't ever remember in my lifetime Alabama being #1 team in the nation. So I mean, maybe they have, and maybe I just hadn't watched college football that far back. But you know, the blue bloods, they're not necessarily a blue blood. So
I it's like I remember that one game. Well, I forgot what they was playing. It was it Iowa? I don't remember. But when Jalen Rose got into that trouble, and he was at that crack house, and he had to go play, and he had one of his best games of his career there, and they was giving it to him, you know, just giving it to him, and he had to come out and say, well, you know, that was a friend of mine's mama house that I was at, and down the street was my boy house, and right next door was the crack house, and we was all chilling in front of my boy house. You got to do all this explanation, you know, explaining, and it looks bad. But if you passing something on and not is out of your hands, and then something happen, you know they're gonna always try to connect the dots. They're gonna always try to figure out a way to get somebody involved. So
it's like that.
It's a bad look that, you know, PR wise. At the same time, Brandon Miller looking like at once it's out my hands, I have nothing else to do with it, you know. And he can get a lawyer to actually defend that unction. So who knows?
I remember a few years back, it's been when Coach Cal was at Memphis, had a player to get into a domestic dispute with a young lady. I think they might have suspended the team might have suspended him maybe 5 games. He was a senior, but ended up the story ended up going away. But they, like you said, they gave it to him. He never recanted anything. The story was what it was. It was in the newspaper. It was on Sports Center. But they gave it to that guy. Now, if you can take that, they end up having a decent season. I think they end up going out in the first round of the NCAAs because this was before the Laurenburg kids at Memphis, before Derrick Rose and the Laurenburg kids. But yeah, they gave it to him. I mean, this is we know this because it's the #1 team in the nation, and it's Alabama, and it's not a blue blood, but you're gonna have this. You definitely gonna have this on every level. Now, depending on how egregious the crime is, talking through this, it seems to be a blip on the radar, and they're making it out. They're making a mountain out of a molehill. In this case, I think.
Let me just add to that, man. At the end of the day, unless he's told Brandon Miller to bring the gun because he about to do such and such to somebody, to this girl or whoever, then Brandon Miller is not an accessory. And if he told him that, then you got to prove that. If he texted him that and he bought the gun, he would already be in jail. That's my take on it. Legally, I don't think that there's too much that they can do to him. You know, you would have to prove that he was an accessory to that.
Well, I believe that's what the DA said. Correct me if I'm wrong, Faye, but I actually thought she said legally at this point they really have nothing to charge him with. If I'm not mistaken, I read that somewhere. I thought she said that's what she said.
Paula Whitley told Alabama.com there's nothing we could charge him with, unquote. There's that words.
There you go.
At the end of the day, he's probably not gonna be charged, but at the same time, he's going to live with that he brought the gun. Silver suit, and your producer said the silver suit. I could see that because he did bring the gun, but there's no technically the gun was already in his car in the back seat. So,
but then you get a hard time beating the preponderance of evidence is way lower. He gonna That's a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one for him.
It's messed up either way because somebody lost their life, but I really want to know the details of it. It was a chick, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really?
It's got to be something to that. It's got to be something to that. We talking about a young lady.
Yeah. Like I said with the last story, this is a sports show. Unfortunately, this is a hard pivot. Alabama is projected to be a #1 seed in the South, where the #2 seed will be Kansas State and Arizona the 3 and Xavier is the 4. We'll get into brackets in about 2 weeks. Houston is going to be Houston, Kansas, and Purdue are slated to be the #1 seeds. Like I said, we'll talk about the brackets in 2 weeks on our show when the brackets come out. Anatol's probably already saying Bill Self. Bill Self. Okay. Whatever. Bill Self got a player named.
We doing another bracket.
Yeah, we are. You see, I told you what I told you. What I told you. What I told you. Bill Self. I don't know. Bill Self got a player on the team with Dick named Dick. What? Hey, Dick.
This dude tripping. C Green, I see you on here, boy. What's going on? Appreciate you showing up.
So we'll talk about that last time before we get to our parting shots. NBA outlook. In my Stephen A. voice, Tony, don't laugh. The Lakers stink.
Yeah, AD not playing. AD not playing tonight.
Stress reaction. Just baby Malone management. Foot were hurting yesterday, and they got dunked on by Triple J. What do you expect from the Suns, guys? What do you expect when the Suns with the Slim Reaper going to the Suns? Start with shot.
I mean, it's easy to say I think they the favorite, but something always happens. I mean, you got two glass people in KD and CP3, but on paper,
they look good.
They gonna be tough to deal with on paper. I mean, if you get a better person to drive the car, to hold on to the steering wheel than CP3. He ain't got to do nothing but average maybe 10, 11. Bean Book gonna do his thing. Like, you got two of the most prolific scorers in the game right now on the same team. Now, how that mesh, I don't know, because I think somebody was it Atwater. Somebody, I think it was Fave said Dallas got the worst defensive backcourt in history.
That was me. That was me.
But if you get to a overtime, you got to pick your poison between Luka and Kyrie, then you got problems. But I think Phoenix could get to the Western Conference Finals if they gel, and I don't know if it's enough time, but it's hard to not pick them, right?
It's hard not to. Yeah, hard not to. Tony, we go Tony, Damon, Tony Straw, then Damon.
What I think about the Suns?
Yeah.
I think they obviously the favorite. On paper, they look like a pretty good team to pick if you putting your money down. You would pick the Suns. Me
CP3
personally, huh?
CP3 still on the team, right?
Yeah, he's still on the team. Okay. But me personally, I still think Boston is the favorite. But I think that overwhelmingly in the media, because of the team that's made up now, with KD going to the West, I definitely think that makes a shift in things. But I still think personally, in my opinion, that Boston is the favorite.
Be strong.
I like the Suns, but this is a collection of players that hadn't had a chance to gel, in my opinion. even though there's Hall of Fame type players. Well, I ain't gonna say, well, two of them are Hall of Fame type players. Booker is still a great player, great scorer. Um, but they gonna have to jail if they can get that Jello jiggling. I can see them going away. But I mean, I'm thinking Memphis is gonna come out of the West. That's a team that's been there before, and that's a team. That's a team. That's not a collection of players. That's a team. They've gotten. They haven't made a move in a minute. That's a team that's playing well. I mean, Anatoly just put on here. Dallas looks a mess. Yeah, they got moving parts that you got to get used to. Same thing with the Suns. You got moving parts. Meanwhile, in other parts where you haven't made a trade, your team is playing pretty well because they used to playing with the same people day in, day out, practicing with the same people day in, day out. I think they'll do well. I don't see them winning the whole thing.
D-Rondo.
They're a threat, man. They're a threat. Two great scores, when healthy. The point guard is out there. That's the statement right there. When healthy, health. Can they stay healthy? Yes, they need to mesh. They need to play together. When you got a guy like Chris Paul running the point, that can happen quick because his basketball IQ. Then you have Durant's basketball IQ, Booker's IQ. It can happen fast. The problem is, can Durant stay healthy? Can Chris Paul stay healthy? That's the main issue. If that happens, they can go back to the finals. That Boston, to me, I'm with Tony, is probably still my favorite. If those boys stay healthy, they're gonna give Boston all they want. Might even take it. It's just a matter of health. Health is a big thing. I know Fabe always said he just waiting on CP3 to get hurt. It's still if he can stay healthy, man. They could cut them nets down. They could bring them a championship. Health is the main concern for me because I'm playing together. I look at Chris Paul as that real flow general that can get everybody ready and get them going. As long as they keep playing, that can happen every game, every practice. He can get sweet spots. He can do all that stuff together and then insert his sweet spots into the team philosophy, and they can get rolling. It's health with me.
I'm gonna give each of y'all one quick fire question. Tony, who's your MVP right now?
Jokic.
Okay. Horatio, has the Clippers been a disappointment this year?
Absolutely.
Big Straw. Over under 2.5 years, Quinn Snyder get fired.
I'm gonna say old.
Damon, over under 2.5. Detroit Pistons go get the number 1 pick.
Under.
Because that means they're going like three or lower, right? That what you
probably. I think the K with the number 1 getting K, they probably won't get another number 1 pick for a few years.
Right now they have the second worst record in the league. Rockets are number 1 right now.
Yep. Hey, before y'all dip out, has Jalen Green been hurt?
Not to my knowledge, but let me take a look. I don't think he has.
Hey, while you doing that, let me just throw out some numbers because the Suns played tonight. First time they debuted. And Bean Booker went on ahead and let everybody know this is my team. He took 26 shots, dropped 37. CP3 ain't take but 8 shots, 2 points, 11 assists. And Durant came out there and was as efficient as ever, 10 for 15 with 23 points. Now, I know they only played Charlotte, but, I really wanted to see what the line was going to look like in that first game. And I think Bean Booker said, hey, it's my team. I'll be the one taking all the shots here, buddy. So I was curious to see how that dynamic go. And then DeAndre Ayton, which I believe is the most important piece to this trade. Had 16 points and 16
them being able to
rebounds.
keep him was huge, man.
Yeah.
So I guess, is it that KD is there to push Booker? The reason he had to come out and say that? Because I mean, before he was still there, he's still a good scorer. So now it seemed like KD is there. So I'm gonna make this my team. Oh, wait a minute.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. I'm looking at the play.
I'm looking between the lines here. I'm kind of reading the lines here.
No, KD still getting his feet up on him though.
Yeah,
I think that is I think that is Book's team. KD can't come in there at the end of the season and be like, this is my squad. Just like, honestly, when he went to Golden State, that was still Steph's team.
Yeah, I guess my point is that KD being who he is. We know who KD is. We know what he can do. And him just dropping in with CP3, knowing what he can do. He can draw attention now. He can draw attention away from Booker. As far as but I'm just saying. I'm glad did he feel like he had to come out and say that?
Well, I think KD is such a gifted scorer, man. Like, if he had done things a little bit differently, then his perception, his career, his career perception would be different. But he's such a gifted scorer, man. Honestly, you can drop KD in anything. He the bacon on any sandwich, bro. He went out there and took 15 shots in 27 minutes and still got 23 points. He's a gifted scorer. So wherever you put him at, you can put him down for 25 points. It's just a matter of how they gonna mesh, are they gonna rotate defensively? But he can be that. He can be the best player without being the best player. If that makes sense.
It made perfect sense because I was just getting ready to add to that. This is really where KD thrives off of.
Yeah.
I've said this on this show many times, and there's no knock on him. But he doesn't need to be the alpha. You know what I'm saying? KD just want to ball. Yeah. When he's the alpha, things don't work well for him for their teams that he's on. That's just what it is. He's more of a like you say, quiet assassin, go out, ball, be efficient, get my points, score when I need to score. That's his game. And he does it well, exceptionally well. But when he's asked to be the alpha, it don't work right. It don't work well, man.
Right. Or the score/facilitator. That's not his role. If you hear Draymond talk about him, two things I want to bring up real quick about KD. One, when Pat Bev was getting up under him, and everybody was assuming that Pat Bev was stopping him, and he broke down the offense. He said, "Yo, you got this guy coming here. I can force up some shots, but I'd rather just pass the ball and let another guy get an easier shot. But y'all know who I am, right?" And then he went on ahead and dropped 45 the next 2 games. And then if you listen to Draymond talk about KD, he said it. He said he's a true gym rat. He said KD will watch 10-year-olds play basketball. That's bad, that's all he wants to do. He just don't want the extra stuff. KD want to be he want to be Robin on steroids. You can keep Batman. Just let me be Robin on steroids and we do our thing. That's why he went to Golden State, because I can be one of 5.
And the other thing, Draymond also said, if we didn't have KD for those 2 years, we would not have beaten Cleveland.
Oh, everybody know that now.
Because Cleveland had a historic year that year after they won the title as far as shooting threes. The only difference was the Slim Reaper was open that offense to a whole nother level.
Listen, they called KD for 23. That's what they called KD for. They ain't called KD for nothing else. We don't have an answer for 23. If you look at the first 2 times they played 4 straight years, right? I think I brought this up before. The first 2 games, it was 8-9 or something like that as far as wins.
6 to 7. 6 to 7.
6 to 7, right?
First 2 years, 6 to 7.
When KD got there, it was 8-1.
8-1, yep.
So they went and got they don't win another championship without KD. Now they can say what they want about he didn't win it without Steph. Y'all not beating LeBron.
No.
Sorry. LeBron almost beat y'all with Matthew Dellavedova.
And
I should get
Timothy
points for saying
Mozgov.
that name right.
And Chetty Osman. All right, guys,
like
let's get
free T-shirt from buynightshirt.com for even saying that right.
Yeah, I'll tell everybody, hey, we need some free
Oh
T-shirt for
my
saying that
goodness,
name right.
hell of a Dover.
Uyagalele.
Let that roll off the tongue 4 times.
All right, let's get to our party shots. Most of these party shots are gonna be brought to you by Sprite, the black folks drink. You can use it as a medicine, as a chaser, or something just to cool you off on a hot summer day. Sprite, the black folks drink, and also brought to you by Arizona Tea. Damon, since '91, how much?
$1.
$1.
$1.
What's the diabetes? Go ahead, drink that Arizona Tea straight, no chaser.
For real.
Drink Arizona tea and go by somebody with COVID. Watch what happened in your life.
They'll be the same again.
Won't be the same.
Go ahead, Straw. What you got for us on the party shot?
Man, this on my party shots, man. Y'all go Friday if you have time. Find you a movie theater at some point in time and go see Creed 3. This is Jonathan Majors. This is Michael B. Jordan. And this is no Sylvester Stallone connected with this. So this is all Michael B. Jordan. I think he is getting his directorial debut in this one. So if you don't do nothing else this weekend coming up, man, find you some time to go support these two great black actors and go see Creed 3.
D. Rondo.
Hey man, shout out to James Harden, man. Shout out to James Harden for helping that Michigan State student making his day. Found out he was a huge James Harden fan. He FaceTimed him in the hospital. They started a GoFundMe for his insurance stuff and trying to get his insurance payments paid. James Harden gave a hefty donation and sent some shoes and some paraphernalia for him to wear. Gave him his personal number to keep in contact with him. So I just want to say shout out to James Harden, man, being a real guy. Appreciate you doing that, showing your human side to you, bro. Shout out to you.
Pretty Tony, what they call him?
Man, I just want to put out there, man, in the atmosphere, somebody, an elder from the league, or somebody need to reach out to Ja Morant, man, and let him know, put him up on game, let him know that I mean he's on the verge of losing it all, man. He's risking it all. Being brought up in allegedly brought up in a couple of situations, bad situations. One was think he got accused of riding around in an SUV and flashing a gun at somebody. Then I saw a report today that said that over the summer at a pickup game, he got into it with a 17-year-old. I think they say he hit him with a gun or he pulled out a gun.
He flashed him with a gun and punched him 12 times.
Yeah. So like, man, like really, really talented kid, man. Just obviously don't really have anybody around him, that pretty much point him in the right direction and be the man that says no. He probably got a lot of yes men around him, big entourages, doing their thing. But I really, 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 really hope that he gets a hold of it, and puts it back in the middle of the road, man, before something bad happens. Yeah, I mean it's too late.
Right.
Right now we had the Black Thought, which is brought to you by Henny and Coke, the dog looker.
I'm gonna make this quick since it's been a minute I've been on here, but we just wrapped up Black History Month, and so I wanted to give a shout out to that. But March is also the beginning of Women's Month, and so I want to kind of combine the two. Give a special shout out to the First Lady of the Struggle, Ms. Mary McLeod Bethune, who was an educator, a civil rights activist, and actually helped change the landscape of the Democratic Party by going against the grain and opening up an all-girls school for Black women, which she was served as the president, founder of. She held a lot. She owned a lot of property in Daytona Beach, Florida, which allowed Black people access to the beaches back then, which they weren't allowed to. Then once she started that all-girls school, Bethune-Cookman College, which is now known as Bethune-Cookman University. She is the first person to open up an all Black school for girls in the United States. So I want to give a special shout out to Mary McLeod Bethune. My grandmother actually attended Bethune-Cookman and was taught by Mary McLeod Bethune. And my mother went to Bethune-Cookman. My stepmother went there, and my sisters graduated. All of them graduated from Bethune-Cookman College, now University. So special shout out Women's Month March to the great Mary McLeod Bethune. That's my Black thought.
Bless you, bless you.
I ain't got nothing tonight. We'll keep it short. Free Mike Atwater. That's our show.
Hey, tell Mike Popeye's looking for him.
Look at the drumstick.
Come on, dry snitching. They looking for you now.
He said he dry snitching.
Don't forget our show. We brought to you by
man.
Don't forget we brought to you by Crazy Straws. You crazy got some straws? Get your Crazy Straw just for men. Get you the CB4 from Walgreens. If you got a green, you better set you all right. And don't forget you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and we on Sundays and Wednesdays 9:05. We out. Holla.
Yeah, boys, be good, man.
All right, fellas.